protest movement, killing protesters, arresting hundreds, and deploying government security forces. On the other side, the Anglophone movement has also transformed. There are elements that are now a separatist movement. Separatists have become more and more militant and have been accused of committing abuses, including killing security forces, attacking and burning down schools, and attacking citizens. People in the Anglophone region feel deeply wounded over the course of the last week or so in my office.
Of course, you actually view the evidence of citizens' continual murder. If they are killing security forces, it's because they feel that they are not protected. They are not. Because what is the purpose of a defense department? A defense is a military that protects the citizens against foreign aggressor. In the case where the military becomes the aggressor, what do you expect the citizen to do? To take up arms against those aggressors and tell them they are equally like the citizens as well. The people of Southern Cameroon went because they came with a good faith. But unfortunately, slaves that they can do. Why are we in this forceful wedding? I am sure the United States. Let's listen to Karen Bass, the U.S. Congress representative.
We have received hundreds of calls from people saying that there is genocide in the Anglophone region. Meanwhile, the government has said that there is no one to negotiate with, and the separatists do not want to come to the table. What this says to me is that there is serious work to be done to bring both sides to the table to end this conflict and to determine whether or not genocide is actually taking place. I do not aim to tell this country what to do. What we here in Congress want to do is to encourage dialogue in order to make sure that Cameroon is not the site of a civil war. The government must recognize that it is facing a real national crisis, and the international...
Right now that we're speaking, they already carved a document. La Republic has already carved a document and assumed that it was between the negotiation, a dialogue that is going on. What do La Republic take us for? As rubbish, as animals, or as people who don't reason? Of course not. La Republic already carved a document and specified on what terms of the document. Have they called any discussion? Is there any open discussion as specified? But unfortunately, that is not the case. They have carved a document and now it is circulating that there is an ongoing dialogue. An ongoing dialogue with who? And who is presiding over the dialogue? The people of Southern Cameroon have gone through this rubbish within the past 56 years. They have come to a point that that relationship no longer valid and they have to move on and live their own private life. Let's listen to Karen Barrow.
Community is watching, and activists must realize that peaceful nonviolent protest is the only way to get people to hear their cause. This resolution, HRES 358, calls on the government of Cameroon and armed groups to respect the human rights of all Cameroonian citizens, to end all violence and to pursue a broad-based dialogue without preconditions to resolve the conflict in the Northwest and Southwest regions. I encourage my colleagues to support this resolution and to send the message to Cameroon and the world that we remain engaged in.
Mr. Speyer. I ask consent to speak for an additional 2 minutes. The League of Nations appointed France and Great Britain as joint trustees of what was previously the German colony. Not surprisingly, the two colonial powers imposed their own cultures on the new Cameroon. And tragically, following the country's independence in the 1960s, Cameroonian strongman President Paul Biya, one of the world's
That's the U.S. Senate for Armed Service Committee addressing. That's the U.S. Senate Armed Service Committee speaking about the ongoing crisis in Southern Cameroon. And yet the world still remain adamantly silent as what action need to be taken. Of course, this has been in existence, and the murdering rate and slaughtering of the citizens of Southern Cameroon has gone to the all-time high by the neighboring country like Republic of Cameroon. This was the U.S. Undersecretary for African Affairs. He was addressing at France 24. Listen to what he said. But unfortunately, he's absolutely silent. Nothing is happening.
He has been in charge of Cameroon, I think, longer now than I believe any other serving African head of state. Maybe he'll be on, but I think definitely there. The problem is, with such long service, so many fundamental problems have gone unaddressed, and we see this now in the northwest, southwest, or what some people call the Anglophone region of Cameroon. In addition, Cameroon has two very serious problems. One is
You see, so those are the kind of language diplomats use that it become very disturbing. Of course, the people of Southern Cameroon, Article 1608, United States government, representative at the United Nations in 1961, cast their vote to recognize the people of Southern Cameroon. So it is not what they call the so-called Anglophone. It's not. We are not an Anglophone. We are a sovereign nation. We are people that have distinctive boundary with a vote recognized by the United Nations. The same nation that recognized La Republic in 1960 is the same nation recognized the people of Southern Cameroon in 1961. So it is not just a language issue. It is about a sovereign, distinctive sovereign nations. That though we came together to live with La Republic, that doesn't imply that La Republic has an upper control over the people of Southern Cameroon. In zero term, La Republic is not and will not. But that is the U.S. Undersecretary. He was still echoing the message his predecessor, Cohen, reiterate the importance of recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon. I am sure. And after he spoke, and he traveled to the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroon, and as soon as he arrived here, his voice remained silent. He went ahead and be congratulating a Swiss government. A Swiss government is the minute to the United States, when United States congratulating as though he has no power, no decision, no jurisdiction to stand and voice the U.S. as a sovereign nation that can stand and decide, even including Europe as a whole, cannot oppose the United States. The entire continent of Europe cannot oppose United States, but a single small indigenous scanty nation in Europe, Swiss, and the U.S. Undersecretary will be describing and congratulating them for taking initiative as though he has no jurisdiction. The United States is a well-defined sovereign nation with a defined power that can tell any part of the world, this is my position, and no one will expose or oppose such a decision. But that's him. He was speaking. But now he cannot even, his voice is mute. Listen.
West Africa. And in that part of it, we are working very closely with the Cameroonians as allies to address the problem of terrorism. The more fundamental problem, in my view, the more existential problem for Cameroon is what's going on in the Anglophone region. The government has been totally, in my view, ineffective in addressing that. Some of their actions have actually worsened what is going on there. There's been just a mounting cycle of violence from both sides. The radicals in the Northwest, the ones who call themselves the Ambo Boys.
Of course, the one they call the Amber Boys. Of course, the Amber Boys is an Atanganji. is Atanganji. He's raising a mansion. He's raising a mansion. How much is the wages of... That is the person, Atanganji. Is carrying on destructive in Southern Cameroon. That is the person that has what he called the Amber Boys. We don't have Amber Boys. We have Ambazonian defense system that is fighting to restore the Southern Cameroon territory, Ambazonia. We don't have Amber Boys. The person that has Amber Boys is this guy, the neighboring country, La Republic, Minister of Territorial Administration. That is what he should be talking about. That's him, an ex-convicted criminal from the New Bay prison. That was a British representative. After they've spoken, British government in absolutely remained silent.
Against English-speaking communities in the west of the country, which were formerly known as British Cameroon, communities to whom we owe a historic responsibility. They quoted in The Guardian the ordinary men and women who saw their villages attacked by Blair's military, who saw their neighbours and families members killed, and that they were forced to flee for their lives. They quoted the charity workers who were looking after thousands of displaced women and children for whom they warned going home would be suicide. Now, by any normal moral standard, you would expect the UK government to read those reports and be appalled. But not this government. The very next day after that report was published, the British Trade Secretary announced a £1.5 billion deal with a British national gas company and President Blair's regime. A deal which, in the words of the Trade Department's press release, will, quote, generate a huge stream of revenue for Cameroon's public treasury. In other words, we have a regime ranked as the 25th most corrupt in the world, a ruler in his 43rd year of autocratic power, with a personal wealth of over $200 million, engaged in a systematic campaign of brutality and killings against English-speaking community in his country. All the government can do is boast of doing trade deals which will only enrich him further. That, in my mind, is what this government means by...
There is a written statement I'll be reading from, so if folks want to have that, we can have access to that later. It's also here. There is no longer any controversy. Leading British historical and legal agencies, and none other than French President Emmanuel Macron, have equally and recently asserted colonialism was and is a crime against humanity. As such, United Nations protocols empower all peoples and parties to act with the, quote, responsibility to prevent genocide and the, quote, responsibility to protect. It is not so useful in the case of the Cameroons or Ambazonia to spend time debating who is most at fault. Is it the government in Yaoundé or the man Biya, who has been president since I was 19 years old, the longest ruling leader in the world? Is it the original French colonists who, along with their British counterparts, set up this competitive, divided-we-fall scramble way back when? Is it the UN, in failing to oversee the promises made decades ago? Perhaps it's the children of Ambazonia who, frustrated at increasing police and military violence and little to show for decades of completely nonviolent and unarmed actions against their colonial predicament pick up some stones to defend themselves just over the past year. There is enough guilt to go around, and we say again, it is not so useful to spend time debating who is most at fault.
Who is most at fault?
The UN mandated responsibility to protect and the responsibility to prevent genocide. Equally, especially in cases of contemporary ongoing colonialism, is the responsibility of all of us. It is certainly the responsibility of the United Nations member states, with an emphasis on those who currently make up the Human Rights Council, where soon meets in Geneva. But it is also the responsibility of non-governmental organizations, organizations like the International Peace Research Association, with consultative status of ECOSOC. And yes, it's the responsibility of media as well, to remember that even conflicts which appear small in places which are not easily found on maps require our urgent attention and solidarity. We need only reflect on the upcoming 25th anniversary of the Rwandan genocide and the ongoing tensions in the Great Lakes region to be clear about that. I represent a UNESCO-affiliated organization of scholars, academics, researchers, and students from roughly 100 countries in every region of the world. We, of all people, know that the information is neither inaccessible nor in doubt. Despite sometimes misleading reports from even the most reputable and well-known agencies in the human rights field, it is not too difficult to ascertain who is most at risk and who is mostly armed in the northwestern corner between Cameroon and Nigeria. Despite recent news that the U.S. will suspend security assistance to Cameroon because of its poor human rights record, we must not be overjoyed or lulled into a sense of false accomplishment. Our colleague, Adetai Akwe, Amnesty International's Deputy Director here in the United States, noted yesterday, quote, Cameroonian security forces have indiscriminately killed, arrested, and tortured people, firing on crowds, displacing thousands of civilians, and destroying entire villages with impunity, close quote. Until all that has come to a complete end, calls like this one to the UNHRC, which we sign on to today, are vital in both accumulating incontrovertible information to share with the World Forum and in stemming the tide of violence, at least in the short term. In the long run, we repeat, colonialism was, and in Ambazonia today, colonialism still is, a crime against humanity. Until colonialism is ended, our work will not be complete. Thank you.
We will be delivering the letter to the UN later today. We want the
As you all listened, about many different voices have spoken about the ongoing crisis in Southern Cameroon territory, and yet the bleeding continues and nothing action has been taken. Of course, United States government or Department of Defense has pulled out its military arsenal in the neighboring country, La Republic of Cameroon. Yet nothing has happened. In fact, it has escalated to a different level, and that is why I am bringing this attention to the United States Department of Defense. How more can they do, and will they do it, and how often will they do it? The bleeding of Southern Cameroon is enormous and so burdensome to all the entire citizens of Southern Cameroon that are widely scattered around the world in this planet. But unfortunately, each day when they return home from their various jobs, the first thing they receive is the images of bleeding citizens of their relatives that are currently terrorized by the neighboring country, La Republic du Cameroon military. It's deeply frustrating. It's deeply frustrating. Of course, the United Nations impose upon the citizens of Southern Cameroon that they cannot bleed, they cannot breathe a natural air. They must be at the mercy of La Republic du Cameroon. That is the thing that I vehemently and objected categorically, that the people of Southern Cameroon can breathe on their own, irrelatively, without the neighboring country, La Republic du Cameroon. And so they want to see their sovereign, distinctive nation recognized and let move forward. United States can do this. If the United States in 1961 voted to recognize them as a sovereign nation, why must they not do it now when the bleeding is occurred? Of course, that is just the one thing that they need. Just a one nation recognize them, that they can exist as people of a sovereign, distinctive sovereign nation. That is all, and then we can move forward with the rest. But unfortunately, their priority interests, of course, many bleeding can occur. It doesn't matter to them, of course. But this is the moment showing that to the Africans that they believe in accordance with the United States, and the United States remain a relevant nation when it comes to African relationship exists. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter, single individual. Of course, the younger citizens of Southern Cameroon that have been murdered within the past 3 years, they could have been the most brilliant citizens that have been murdered by the neighboring country, La Republic du Cameroon. I may not have the possible languages to express for the citizens of this great nation to understand, but the United States know the fact that the people of Southern Cameroon, the burden is enormous, and that they want the United States to intervene. Africom should not be a window dressing, but it should be an actionally Africom that in terms of crisis, they can rapidly intervene. And I'm sure that opening the Africom should have been a blessing, but unfortunately, it hasn't been in the citizens of Southern Cameroon. The bleeding continues. What is the purpose of the opening a command center in Africa? The purpose is to show bilateral relationship, not to support military dictatorship across the African continent. It's to show that United States is advanced nations, and they advance because of a pluralistic economic and meaningful political reform that existed here in the amazing nations. But if we have to establish relationship, it's not to install and promote dictatorship, but it's to alleviate and educate Africans to show that they are viable partners for these amazing nations. It's not just window dressing. I think the United States can do more. U.S. African Command Center can do more. I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are watching. I want to take a moment. I know you citizens of Southern Cameroon, you are bleeding. The bleeding is absolutely painful to all of us. The bleeding is painful to all of us. And I understand that each day when you come home from your various work and you look at the bleeding at home, it's deplorable. But one will ask, why are we in the midst of this? Because the power that be has forced La Republic that we must accept the wedding as a precondition. But I am here to remind citizens of Southern Cameroon that we don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to accept. But we must fight till the last bleeding person survive and proclaim the Southern Cameroon independence once and for all. We can give visas to other citizens to emerge and form the new nations. If Israel can never perish in the mouth of the earth, then Southern Cameroon will never perish. Stand firmly, we will never go nowhere. That is Paul Atanganji. That is building a high-rise mansion. He's a territorial administration minister. How much is the salary of a territorial administration minister? Of course, you and I will know that it doesn't reach any amount. But unfortunately, that is a high-rise mansion that is raising. That is raising. And the worst too is that despite all this murdering rate that is perpetrated by the République du Cameroon military, the entire embassy in the neighboring country, La République, the entire nation, foreign embassy, absolutely remains silent except the U.S. ambassador. That has raised alarm, at least brought some foreign diplomat from the U.S. to come on to the problems that is going on in Southern Cameroon territory. But unfortunately, the rest of the embassy, you know, you can name the rest. France is the same. British embassy is working to secure natural gas for British government exploitation. Swiss government is securing its citizens, who is the president of the United Nations. Of course, the interest of Swiss must to protect. That is the US is appreciating. Fellow brothers and sisters, I want to thank all of you for watching. God bless Southern Cameroon. God bless Ambazonia. We shall overcome. God bless. Good night.